I know that you want to know about surviving in prison. Well, you came to the right place because today I cover the three main types of prison. There are maxes, mediums, and minimums, and each have different lifestyles. Let's begin, alright? First, maximum security. Every state has different guidelines that determine your classification status, but a general baseline is 7 years or more. That means if you were to serve 7 years or more, you will probably be going to a maximum security state penitentiary. They also consider the seriousness of the crime. If there was violence involved, a high-profile case, or if the crime was serious in general, you're probably looking at going to a maximum security state correctional facility. But the good news is that the way of life in max jails are different than any other type of facility, in as much as the inmates carry themselves with a much higher degree of respect for one another. The lifers, or long-term bidders, have a way of carrying themselves that can only be described as serious. They are incarcerated longer, and it's possible they all know just how quick things can get ugly. So, considering how dangerous the environment could be, people are clear to show respect for one another, and are all around just respectful of the environment in general. Further, it should be noted that an inmate will cause harm if they are cornered, so since most people don't want any trouble, they make it clear and carry themselves with respect. You're generally provided with more living space in max facilities. You'll usually have your own cell that you could use as a sanctuary to relax with peace of mind. Your cell is going to be your home for the next few years, and as long as you respect other people's boundaries, people will respect yours. And lastly, maximums offer provisions to have your own TV in your cell. You could have your own hot pot for cooking. But since every facility in every state is different, things are always changing. So I recommend that you contact the facility to inquire just what privileges are available. Connect with the package room of the facility and they will provide you with any information on allowable items. Let's take a look at medium security facilities. This type of facility has way more freedoms than a max jail because it's usually dormitory life with about 60 inmates total per dorm. Mostly the programs, the schools, the job, recreation, library, and mess halls are all in different buildings, and you have to walk across the grounds to get from one building to the next, almost like a college campus. Of course, the correction officers determine when it's safe to move within the facility, and they are always watching. The medium security facility is where the majority of prisoners would serve their time, as medium security represents a large portion of the population. But again, this depends on the initial crime, the years of commitment, degree of violence, your program assessment needs, your disciplinary history, and many other factors to be determined by the commissioner of your state. The general attitude in mediums with the inmate population is that since everyone is going home soon, they are just naturally a bit more loose with how they talk to people, with other inmates and guards. It's easier to get comfortable in mediums, but the familiarity sometimes causes problems as the respect lines get obscured and blurred. It's important to set your standard boundary and live by the lines that you set. I go over all the unwritten secrets in my book, but for now, let's keep it on topic. Minimum security prisons. These are the final stages right before being released. This is the type of facility with the most freedoms, and the staff knows your time is short. Usually, this is the facility that will offer the inmates a working position with outside clearance. Working outside clearance is when you work outside the confines of the facility, and this can be beneficial as you're preparing to go home. It's a good way to integrate with the transition. And besides, the facility knows you are so short to go home, and you're seriously less likely to try to escape or do anything foolish. Why would you if you were to go home really soon, right? And they know that, and they use it as leverage, I guess, for cheap labor. Now, I must note the general attitude with the population in minimum camps are the most difficult to tolerate because everyone there is going home soon. It's weird, but they provoke each other because if you mess up, you're seen as really foolish. Now, I must note the general attitude with the population in minimum camps are the most difficult to tolerate because everyone there is going home soon. They provoke each other because if you mess up, you're seen as really foolish. And the price to pay is staying incarcerated longer. People know this and they use it to provoke and instigate problems. I don't know why it is, it just is. It's ironic that max jails are filled with people doing real long prison terms and are super respectful of one another. Minimums are filled with people going home soon and just carry themselves with little or no respect. You would think inmates are more prone to look out for one another, so everyone can go home, everyone can make it out. But no, this is not true at all. Jail life has evolved throughout the years into something it's never been before. It used to be all inmates work together to get out and help each other to get out. It is definitely not like that anymore. That's just how things evolved. So if you go, take care of yourself. Do what you need to do to get back to your loved ones. Do it yourself and take care of yourself. Avoid the pitfalls of getting trapped off and take your time with whatever you choose to do. I hope I helped in communicating the 3 different types of security classifications.